Alright, a little bit of brainstorming. I'm thinking volume of air movement through the holes I'm going to drill here. Here's where the exhaust fans are going. Two 120s. And basing on just area of the fan, like the actual size of the fan. If my calculations were correct, and they were, this is 4.7 inches across, making the grand total surface area on these like 17 square inches each. So 17 square inches each puts us somewhere in the 35 square inches total. Now, if I drill 3/8 holes, if I drill 4 of them, top, bottom, and then 2 in the center for air to come up, and I drill, it's going to be 9 banks of those, plus random ones possibly on the ends. That's 36 holes, 36 3/8 holes. If you take the total area of those holes and add them together, comes 4 square inches, which is basically that much. So 2 massive 120s blowing out, and if I have 36 holes, 3/8 of an inch across, that big a hole to suck air in from. Or, I calculated for 1/2 inch holes, 3 of them, times 9, that's 27. That's 5.2 square inches, which is probably like that. This is very rough. My fingers are very rough. So, do we go with more smaller holes that suck through and hope they don't whistle? Do we go with larger holes? Do we go with 4 1/2 inch holes and risk the structural integrity of the box getting messed up because I'm just drilling holes through its entirety? You can't make bigger holes smaller, but you can make smaller holes bigger. So I'm probably going to go with 4 3/8 inch holes. And should that not be enough air, then I can always make them bigger. And I may have... Now keep in mind that these 2 fans are going to be running around... If they run it full, it's 56 CFMs. That's 2 of them. That's 112 CFM. 112 CFM trying to pull through a hole that big, 2 inches by 2 inches squared, is going to make... I don't know what it's going to do. I don't know. I've never done this before. Not this particular exercise. It might whistle like a bastard. Either way, I've got to do some more line drawing. And then I'm going to just start drilling holes. Good song. Alright. Holes are drilled. Look how nice those 36 plus 4, 40 holes looks. I'm now placing the fans. I'm going to bring them down from the top. And I just checked their distances. And that's fine. So now I'm just going to take said drill bit. Because these are in place. They're perfect. And I'm just going to drop it. Oh, that's sort of moving around a bit. That's fine. One. I'm going to get it into the plastic and sort of like... give a heads up. Yes, this is where they belong. There. Yeah. The outside one should be enough. I see 4 spots. There, and there. Good enough. Now, this is my brother's old fan. It is literally a goddamn disaster. This thing is loud and it smelled and... Well... I'm a bit of a crybaby. I watch Brave Little Toasters too much. And that scene where that guy was ripping apart all the toasters and blenders and stuff.
And it is great.
It really upset me. So doing this is going to kill me a little bit inside. One. See, what I need is a template. Because the biggest hole saw I have is a 4 1/4. And you need a 4 1/2 to properly mount a 120. I'm not going to cut that. There's my smaller ones. Did I break through? It's like invincible. Screw it. When in doubt, cut the little box that holds the entirety of the wires. Yeah, I feel bad for electronics and stuff that get misused and disused. Well, that's for the LEDs. Ah, screw it. Not gonna fit. It's not as small. Show me what you're working with. Okay. So now, back into the box of fans that goes. I have a box of fans. You should all have box of fans. Now I can trim this. Now this will be used as a template. So I can put it in place, and then hopefully I got a router probably in the back. I'll drill the holes, then I'll turn it over. I'll mount it in place, and I should be able to find a router bit, like a roto zip bit, just go brrr, hopefully without killing myself or anyone around me. And then it'll be the right size, although it still will be a little bit too small. Templates are good. Templates are great. Templates are wonderful. Good, good, good. Plenty. Plenty of hope. Screw it! My battery's dying. I figured two things out. If I try to use the template to use a router and then I will drill holes and no. To gain the extra 1/8 of an inch on the other side is terrible. Plus, this isn't that exact a hole, so it's going to be a little bit bigger than it's claiming. Then there's the fact that it's just so much damn easier. Plus, I leave a little bit of plastic between the fans, because if I did actually cut the holes out where those are touching, there'd be no plastic. So there's a little bit more structural strength with this design. And my battery's dying. But I have another battery, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, so... yeah. Whee! Little Bosch is a torquey son of a bitch. The smell of burning plastic is... thick. If anything else, it's just neater. God, I've made a mess. And yes, I put down a piece of waste wood. Or otherwise, this would have ruined my desk. Still is kind of ruining it. I gotta vacuum this floor anyway. Why am I blowing? God made these for a reason. Everything's covered in blue dust. Okay. Exciting cleanup videos. Mostly fits. Now you could keep some of that plastic if you ever needed to repair something of that color and just mix it in with some glue. Ugh. Oh, this has probably got carcinogens in it for sure. Good. Bad. Ugh. Nothing good. Tools away. Pencils away. Pencils, torches. Here it is. Okay. A little bit of cleanup on those holes. But you'll get the idea. Let's see how she looks. Yeah, I'd say that's close enough. Close enough. Alright, I don't know where I left off. It's been a couple days. I got sick. Shit went down. Here's what happened with this. I had these plans, grand plans, to put the 1/8" foam behind every hard drive. And that works fine for the middle 6. But this here, the tolerances are so close that actually was hitting the hard drive over here, these two hard drives, when it was up 1/8 inch. And I checked that by putting a piece of foam here and these down on plastic, and it just rocks and teeters. So that's literally how close the tolerances are in this box. That these have to go resting completely on plastic. And when I put this is the type of foam I'm going to use, that type of like padded foam. Obviously this isn't the piece, but it's going to mount it to this bit right by the hinge, and it's just going to compress down. It's going to fit perfectly. I got to obviously cut out around this without screwing it up. Here are the holes for DOS fans, DOS 120 fans. It's the only one that's loose because it's an odd shape. It's got rounded edges. So leave them out. These are all, those are just held in with foam, and the process of putting them in. These are little rubber titties that the notches come with, because I'm not sure if I want to screw them in or just have them float there. I think it'll be quieter if they just float there, although they're notches. So next step is mounting the power supply to the lid. There's power supply here. The little fan that I'm not going to use. It's very loud, but very, very, very hard blowing. So I hit the pins. I gotta get the pins off. And I gotta mount the power supply here so that it rests above the fans. And then I have to start building the power connector, because I just have literally, here are all the ends. I cut them all off. What did I figure out? I figured out that the direction of the hard drive all has to be the same. Obviously, because SATA connectors are on, if you look at the top of the drive, here, SATA connectors are all here where this IDE is. There's nothing on the bottom. So the bottom's going to go down, roll SATA connectors over here, tops this side. So I've got to make sure I have these facing the right direction. They're going to have they're going to lay as flat as I can, like that. And they're just gonna connect. I'm not sure if I'm doing 2 5-ways or 1 long 10. Probably gonna go 2 5-ways just to keep it so I could hook things up a little neater. And then I cut these off too. These are to power the boards. Yeah, control boards. Oh, I've got to mount this. The power. I have to actually buy a fuse for this thing. I have to wire it completely. Comes with nothing touching. I guess that's okay if you want to figure it all out on your own. But I have to, you have to wire all this so the switch works and everything else works. So this is going to be a big butt fuck of things on this. And this is going to be sticking out. Haven't decided which side. But I can't put it on the side. And I can't put it on the face because that'll look retarded. So it's going to be back here somewhere. Which should be alright. It's just now I have to have 110 coming out of this. If the power supply's here, it's going to go all the way to the hinge and back up so the lid can open. Yeah. I couldn't... This is a 4 1/4 inch hole saw, which is what I used to drill those holes, which was terrible fun, by the way. I think I recorded a few seconds of it. And ideally it would be a 4 1/2, because I put this down here, you can see it's not quite the right size. Which, by the way, this is cool to do. Yeah, there you go. So it's slightly smaller than the fans, but because it's smaller, I get a little bit of a bridge here. Otherwise, I would have had to move them apart to do that. And I think a little more structure is better than a little more airflow. This thing's going to be pretty good with all those holes through it, which I'm not sure if you can see them. So, that's progress so far. I was delayed for a few days, but things can begin again. And it's just a mess in here.